I dream every night, daytime too. Like some must be something, that's something new. Almost walked into a wall, imagining your embrace. Had to snap myself out of the thought of the shadow heavenly days. The sensation is real, my blood rushes into each place as if you were here. I didn't need to go down in the sheet. I hear rising, this evasion got me afraid. The rapture's currents that got me afraid. What I'm gonna do if I get you to see? Got me afraid. So far, sometimes I forget to breathe. Got me afraid. Whenever you are, is where I have to be. Faces are fading, replaced with yours. Eyes are changing into your beautiful form. Hope to feel your pulse beating inside mine. Want you to press against me, and if you don't, you cry. And the sensation is real. The blood rushing into each place that if you were here. I really need to go down in the sun. I'll feel your racing, sensation. Got me free. The rapture's still inside me. Got me free. What I'm gonna do if I get you to see? Got me free. You're so fine sometimes I forget to breathe. Got me free. Wherever you are, wherever I have to be. You must be into the moon, 'cause when you're up and out and fall, I could be anywhere, feel pull. Sprint to my ocean, calling it to flow into my spine. And this is what's I'm afraid of. Just inside me, got me afraid of what I'm gonna do if I get you to see. Got me afraid of. You're so damn fine sometimes I forget to breathe. Got me afraid of wherever you are, wherever I have to be. Wherever you are, wherever I have to be. Wherever you are, wherever I have to be. Wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever I have to be. Wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you be, wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever I have to be. You want be with me, yeah, be with me, yeah, 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 yeah. Wherever you are, wherever you are, wherever you are. Wherever you are, 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 wherever you
Hello, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, 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 welcome. My name is Noel A. Figueroa, for those that don't know. And I want to welcome you all to Spotlight on the Scribes. This is a celebration of Poetry Month. You know, we're in the close of Poetry Month, and I wanted to do something to, um, to acknowledge and celebrate Poetry Month, and and as always, give an opportunity to fellow poets to share their work and vibe off of other poets, and just have an evening of just having a good time, vibing off of each other's work. Thank you all for your participation. Also want to thank those that are tuning in tonight. Um, Thank you. Your support and participation as always is very much appreciated. I'm going to get things started by sharing my screen. Let's see here. Okay. I'm just going to pull up my PowerPoint. Reading view. Okay. So this is Spotlight on the Scribes. I'm your host, Noel A. Figueroa. For those that don't already know, I'm a poet, author, blogger, workshop facilitator, and event host. And I established the Poets with Purpose Poetry Workshop back in 2018. Let's see. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Now, for those that may not be familiar with the hype about Poetry Month, some may have wondered, well, where did Poetry Month get started? How did all this come about? Well, I have here a definition from Wikipedia. National Poetry Month is a celebration of poetry which takes place each April. It was introduced in 1996 and is organized by the Academy of American Poets as a way to increase awareness and appreciation of poetry in the United States. The Academy of American Poets website, poets.org, serves as a hub for information about local poetry events during the month. The organization also provides free educational resources to teachers for classroom celebrations and activities, and commissions an annual festival poster. Since 1998, National Poetry Month has also been celebrated each April in Canada. So as you can see, Poetry Month is not just a national phenomenon, but it's an international phenomenon as well. Poetry is one of those things like music, it crosses all races, all classes, all ethnicities. There's no boundaries when it comes to poetry. It's global, and I'm thankful to be part of that global community where we could all come together under the bond of poetry, regardless of who we are and where we're from and where we've been, and it's something that's always excited me and inspired me, at the same time. Now, we have an awesome lineup in tonight's open mic, but before I get to that, my apologies. I want to briefly introduce the features of the evening. We have featuring Ludi Wooten, Paula Ralph Bouquet, Alicia Gonzalez, and the artist Anubis. And tonight, for the open mic, we also have some dope poets as well for the open mic portion. But I guess before I get into that, I just want to run down a few quick preliminaries. There's no filter. To my knowledge, everyone that's either viewing or participating tonight is above the age of 18, which means there's no filter on your content. So if you have mature content, mature language, feel free to share. As I've said in past events, my only requirement is to keep everything respectful. No hate speech, no slander, no form of disrespect or anything deemed out of order or inappropriate. We're all here to come together in peace, come together to be inspired and to be an inspiration, and to show love one to another in regards to our creativity. So with that being said, I'm going to run down the open mic list. Tonight we have sharing on the mic is Carla M. Sherry, Tanika Wilder, Amira Shabazz Belial, Nathan Dillard, Felix Guzman, and James Dean Rivera, also known as the Dean of Poetry. So with that being said, I'm going to call Miss Carla M. Sherry to the mic as our first poet of the evening.
Good evening, Noel. It is great to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm really excited to share my work. So,
Thank you, Carla. Glad to have you tonight.
Thank you. Okay, so this first poem I'm going to read is a poem that I wrote for my niece, and it's called Anike. As she models her brand new, brand name dress in the mirror, I watch. She gives her chocolate brown, kinky twist a toss so her hair can fly. She spins to feel the wisp of cool air against her butterscotch skin. She smiles and calls herself the cutest girl in the world. Shielding my eyes from her sparkling aura, I shake my head and my index finger. Stop that, I say, thinking modesty is noble. But then again, as I look at my life, I'm glad my niece believes. Maybe she won't end up with her self-esteem all black and blue.
Awesome
So,
piece.
thank you. So the next poem I'm going to read is called Marks. Got a small scar on my left cheek. It looks like a moon crater. It is most prominent when I smile. My son had given me chicken pox. Impatient, I nicked the purplish scab while I healed. Desiring perfection, I used to cover the scar with foundation. It felt like a mask, so I poured that oily brown mass down the drain. When I met my man, I envied his flawless skin. Whenever I undressed in front of him, I wrapped my arms around my waist to hide my stretch marks. Then one night, before I could turn off the light, he wrapped blue and white ribbons around my hips, laid me down, slid down our sheets, stroked my navel, whispered that Black mothers are Yemaya manifest. When he brushed his lips down and kissed each of my crooked rivers, the Ogun, the Nile, the Limpopo, the Zambezi, the Niger, I knew not to covet a child's soft smoothness. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Carla. Those are awesome poems. Can you share with the audience where you can be found on social media?
Yes, I can be found on Instagram at Carla BX Poet 1.
Okay, awesome. And do you have any book projects or other things you're participating in that you like to share?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? Because you went out for a second.
Oh, no problem. Did you write any books or are you participating in any events that you like to announce?
Well, yes, I have this new book out, Stardust and Skin. It came out last year and it's available on Amazon. And my first 4 books are being published in a few months. They're going to be reissued. So you can look for them on Amazon.
Okay, awesome. That's excellent. Thank you, Carla. Congratulations to you. And thank you for sharing your poems tonight. They were awesome pieces. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next up on the mic is Miss Tanika Wilder.
Hey everyone, good evening, Noel.
Hey Tanika, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for having me.
Awesome. Glad to have you tonight.
Thank you. So, the first poem I'm going to share with you all is entitled The Execution. And it goes like this. Pardon my scream, But all of these hands and arms dipped into my psyche make me bleed. Split and ripped by pinkies, pointers, knuckles, and thumbs, my days of being numb are numbered. Pulling on my epidermis, feasting on my flesh, cheering for my plasticity, oblivious to the tears growing within the midst of me, I'm stretched longer than the weeds that grow beneath my feet. It is time that I speak instead of wallowing in my internal demise and take back those hands that seek to decimate me as I stand. Fatigued from living in a society that expects me to conform to norms of injustice, I vomit and I rage. Bristled and putrefied by systems that systematically saturate punity in the name of legality, all of these voices and hands work to quicken my mortality. I am a caricature existing for the benefit and entertainment of my executioner. I am a Muppet, perfectly in place to keep equilibrium. I belong to everybody else, but I never belong to me. Disintegrated into pieces, but I'm supposed to live like I'm whole. Pardon me for screaming, but finally, my truth must be told. As I work to mend these pieces from being grafted into a living, breathing, talking machine. So that piece is entitled The Execution.
Awesome piece, awesome.
Thank you so much. All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I'll never use them. Take my arms, I'll never lose them. I look behind to find carcasses of my former self, formally introduced to my newer self, phantoms of a ghostly past, lined up like soldiers flying ships at half-mast. I salute them as I step into formation, formulating mutations, percolating transformation within my mental circadian rhythms. I talk to them one by one. I reach for them, connecting with my five senses, raptured by endless wonder. With new eyes, I bleed the soul of compassion. With new hands, I touch the memories of past, mistakes weeping like willows in my perfectly perfected palms. I smell the lessons from boundaries not quite knit, a scent of petrichor and weathered musk. I taste the triumph of my phantoms on my lips, the taste of apples, honey dipped to the core. I look behind to find that the only race to the finish line was I running alongside my former self, constantly striving to grow, learn, and succeed in planting seeds of my she-volution, a revolution revolting against the battle to take my former bodies away from me. No, I will keep my corpses, for they taught me who I need to be. In the face of the she that some others tried to usurp from me, a pregnant, potent impossibility. I look behind to find carcasses of my former self, grab their hands, kiss their fingers, promising life, touching my blooming earth, giving me added fuel for my continuous rebirth.
Awesome, awesome. Powerful poetry, Tanika. Thank you for sharing. Can you share with our audience where you can be found on social media and the projects that you currently have available?
Sure. So I can be found on Instagram at T Brown Boogie Down. I'm also on Facebook at Tanika L. Wilder. I'm also the author of this book, On the Precipice of Love Illuminated, which is also available on Amazon.com. On May 15, I'm actually collaborating with one of my coworkers. We're doing an event around trauma and mental health. And space is limited, so if anyone is interested in joining, this is a community space. We're going to be having a conversation about daily tips for stress relief, relaxation, and really unpacking what trauma is and what it isn't, and how to go about strengthening our communities.
Awesome, awesome, excellent. Thank you for sharing that. And I forgot to mention, y'all, feel free to put, your social media links and any event info you have, that can be put in the chat. Thank you so much, Tanika, for sharing that. And thank you for sharing your poetry. It was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, awesome poetry. Next up on the mic, I would like to call Ms. Amira Shabazz Belisle.
Good evening. Hey, Noel, thank you.
Hey, Amira,
Thank
how
you
you
for
doing?
inviting me. I'm
How's
doing
everything?
well. Everything
Awesome,
is everything. Yeah.
excellent. Thank you for coming through tonight.
Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome, awesome.
So, do I begin with the book or do I begin with the poetry?
It's just fine. Whatever you like. You can start with your poems if you like.
Okay.
And then share your book info after.
All right. So I selected two pieces today that are relevant and timely with everything that's going on in our environment. I tried to lose the poems. I tried to move on, but something keeps calling me back. And I won't break in between the two poems. I'm just going to continue from one to the next.
Okay.
So the first poem is called Bellow. I want to stand here and bellow names. I want to, in a surreal sort of way, pay tribute to the fallen. Not the fallen to violence of the street war, but the fallen of pandemic blues, pandemic hard breaths, pandemic nobody coming to see you, pandemic like blowing kisses through glass, pandemic like tubes and blowing and pressing sounds of breathing apparatus blues, pandemic like body bags and freezer trucks full, morgue schedules. I want to bellow. I want to bellow. I want to go to your funeral and say my finals properly. I want to feel like I want to say your name with no vaccine. I want to say your name. I want to kiss you through masks and without masks. Just make it last. I want to bellow. I want to bellow. I want to say your name without quarantining my voice for 14 days into forever because you are not here. I want to bellow. I want to say your name. You died without my touch. I want to bellow. I want to say your name into tomorrow and believe you were not alone. I want to say your name until tomorrow because our souls touched and traveled and loved and lived and died as one. When you said, I can't breathe. When you said, I can't breathe, and politics overruled your ability to receive, achieve, and breathe, and more, and have more life. I want to bellow. I want to bellow. Let the rivers run free until we do, following red bloods of our sins, our hopes, our threads of living like we are humans too. I want to bellow. I want to bellow and let the ears be covered not to hear and mask the heart from more lies and fear. Let the sight not be regained until pain has had its reign. Should we paint our doorsteps with red blood Passover blues. May we hang mass, but not in surrender, but to remember tribal muse. I want to bellow, my God, let us remember the names and bellow. And I have a sonnet, ode. There was fraught in my fears and my shouts of silence, driving to picnics, the lynchings. They inspired me to write. How I hate the way you hang and kill and hurt. How I hate the way you hang and kill and hurt them, my people. In your thoughts, in your ways and days of privilege, invading my mind, the day and all through the night, it's fear. It's fear. I may still die enslaved, although you say I'm free. The irony, you say, always dreaming about the Black overt deception. We just wander unwoke. Let me compare this to a bloodless tomb. You meander free, but me, I am destined to spaces and times that weren't ever meant to be mine. Dependency for blood milk that kills, and you smile as I sip. Yours are more breathless, and your endless infamy be hot and burning, shooting stars into galaxies of endless persecution, of dead sun heats and summertime, although the hydrant leaks. The hydrant leaks water. It can't clean the swallows of the ghetto you left behind when you migrated to hills to flee me. And tell me, was I free? How do I hate you? Let me count the ways I hate your mean legacy with Emmett-like tears and fears of mamas like Mrs. Till, thinking of sons before me and behind me in fields left lifeless, fed with our tears. These days fill my days. My hate for you is the ungrateful years of regret of ancestor souls meeting, conquering, ripping, ragged from lands farther away than memory. We are forgotten. Now I rust away with blackness in my heart, and I remember your white words while we're apart. Here's where I say the N-word, banished from my vocabulary into shouts of die, die, and die, and die. But you can't understand how I conquered even death. You brought us here. We shall live, we shall live, we shall. My blue lynching, you inspire me to write. I hate the way you beat and shoot, invading my mind days and through many nights, always dreaming about the sins of your fathers as they have the right, as they have the desire to loot and shoot my sons in streets that have now become endless tombs. They cannot openly hang on trees anymore, so they shoot folks down to even the score. Any lynching still is strange, with the fruits of labor being a mental slavery forcing mistrust. But let me suggest, we die in streets, yet those that live will be the reminder that won't make you feel better about the world nor its ending. And you shall not enjoy your comfort, as we shall not die in vain. And my Black lives, you inspire me to write. How I love the way you breathe, cry, and die, invading my mind day and through the night, always dreaming about greatness, our battle cry. My Black lives, you inspire me to write. How I hate the way you point fingers at brothers, ignore the cries of mothers. Their cries invade my days and through the nights on repeat as we surrender in defeat when we kill each other. Let me compare you to a murderous thrill. You are most misled and unfed from knowledge beds. Blood rains flood the streets, the sounds fields in our dismay, and the summertime does not bring life as long as your brother's skin be shed. Let me compare you to a frightened mother's cry. Rounds of rains flooding the fields of barren Aprils, and the springtime has the tightened budding buds, leaving only branches and trenches of blood. How do I love you? Let me count the ways. My people, I love your glorious eyes, skin and blood. Thinking of your futures fill my days. My love for you is what I breathe. Remember my sacred words while we're apart. There was fraught in my fear of shouts, of people mattering. I keep silence driving to the lynchings, draped in whites, shots and back, sprinkled with skittles, blood-laced playground walls painted with red, white, and blue, mixed with the browns of our melanin hues. They inspire me to write.
Wow. Powerful, 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 powerful. Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you. That
Thank
was
you.
awesome. Now you recently put out a book of poetry. Is that correct?
Yes. The title of my book is Breathing Through Concrete. I wrote and illustrated this book. It's an anthology of poems about various lives of people that I've met through teaching in public school systems. Most of the poems are stories of children, mothers, and tough lives and that kind of thing. Thus the title, Breathing Through Concrete. You can find it on Amazon at this point. If you inbox me, you can purchase direct and get a signed copy. Otherwise, you can just check it out on Amazon.
Awesome, awesome. And can you share with our audience, those that may not be familiar with you, where you can be found on social media?
Absolutely. My name is Amira Shabazz Bilal. I'm on Facebook and Instagram by that same name. I am the facilitator of When Women Speak, which is a women's poetry platform where we feature all women poets. Our show is once a month, the second Tuesday of the month, streamed live on Facebook. If you ladies, if you're interested, you can inbox me or just put it in the chat and I'll give you a contact with, when the show is going to post its open mic list. And I'm also the facilitator or co-facilitator of When People Speak, and we'll be live streaming on Facebook When People Speak Tuesday, 7 p.m. So once again, the facilitator of When Women Speak, it's a powerful platform to get all those women poets out there seen and heard. Feel free to join us.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm quite sure we all felt your energy and we all felt the imagery of your poems that you shared tonight. Thank you so much for coming through and sharing.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, I believe, just a second, let me check something right quick. Okay, I believe there were two people listed next in the open mic that aren't on the line at the moment. So I'm going to call James Dean Rivera, aka the Dean of Poetry, to the mic.
Hello, everybody. How you doing today? How you doing, Noel?
Hey James, how's it going? How's everything?
Yourself?
Doing well, thanks.
Having me once again.
Awesome, glad to have you back.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to read a few poems to y'all. The first poem I'd like to read to you is called Complacency is for the Weak. And here it goes. Complacency is for the weak. It means defeat. It means I give up, expectations that never lift up. It means raising the white flag, dreams fading to black, accepting failure like it's delight. But that is not a fate we should decide. Life should not be this plain when there must be more to gain. You're just accepting mediocrity. This life, it can't possibly be. We must never give up, learn to rise from the ground above, go beyond our limits, set goals and hit it. Complacency must be shed, forever put to bed, go forward and beyond, never give up, never give up. And the next poem I'd like to read to y'all is called Rise and Grind, and here it goes. I wake up on a Monday, Monday's always mundane, but I can't keep my head in the clouds, can't keep feeling down. I wake up on a Tuesday, Tuesday's always a blues day, but I can't keep that in my mind, still gotta wake up, rain or shine. I wake up on a Wednesday, Wednesday's not always the best day, but it's hump day, the middle of the week, still gotta get up on my feet. I wake up on a Thursday, confidence isn't always bursting, but success is around the corner, still gotta keep things in order. I wake up on a Friday, and just like every day is my day, gotta keep things going, no opportunities blowing. No work Saturday or Sunday, but still I rise. Gotta continue to keep my eyes on the prize. Take an off day, that's never. Still gotta keep my plans together. No matter what I do, no matter how my day goes through, I continue to rise. I continue to rise and grind. Do I have time for one more poem or that's it?
Yeah, you could squeeze another in if you want.
Okay, sure. I'll do that. Thank you, Noel. I'm gonna do one more poem, and it's called You Are Worthy. And here it goes. You are worthy of true love. You are my love, not his or her love, my love. You are my priority, that it should always be. Forgiving you when no one else can. I am your fiance, your future husband. When you feel darkness swallowing you, When you feel bad by swallowing you, there's something I always say to remind you the truth, the real truth. This is not to boost your ego or hide your pain. This is to take you out of the dark place in which you've remained. The past should not define you, because you see, you are loved and you are worthy. And that's, you are worthy.
Awesome, awesome. Now, can you share with our audience, for those that don't know, the projects that you have out and where you can be found on social media?
Yes, well, you can find me on Instagram at the Dean of Poetry, my Facebook at James Dean Rivera, and I also have a website that I put in December, www.thedeanofpoetry.com, and I'll put that in the comments as well. And I published a book, Words to My Heart, in 2018. You can also find that on my website. And on December of last year, I published my second book, Deep Thoughts. You can also find that on my website as well. So, and I also have an anthology, I'm just in, called Love Letters to Gaia. So that's actually being pre-orders available on Amazon right now as we speak. So I'll send y'all the links to that in the chat as well.
Awesome, awesome, excellent. Great poetry, James, as always. Thank you for coming through and thank you for sharing. Much appreciated.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me once again.
Awesome, awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, we're now going to go ahead and get into our feature portion of tonight's event. Let me just share my screen. Oops. All right, our features tonight. Once again, we have Ludi Wooten, Paula Ralph Burkett, and the artist Anubis and Alicia Gonzalez in that order. Starting off, here's an introduction to Ludi Wooten. Ludi is a creative thinker and writer. Her passion for writing began at an early age. She was born in Haiti and moved to the United States at the age of 6. Her love for writing stemmed from having to learn English as a second language. She would spend hours enamored with the English language through watching shows like Sesame Street, listening to music, and watching videos. She became captivated by how they would use language to not only help her learn to speak the language, but to create stories. So as a child, she began to use language to write her own narratives through song and poetry writing and writing short stories. Her passion for writing led her to Rutgers University, where she majored in English literature. Her dream has always been to write a book of poetry. She hopes her poetry will cause her readers to get lost in the words in order to find themselves. She hopes her readers will be able to walk away drawing their own meaning out of her writing and lean into a greater version of themselves. So without further ado, our first feature of the evening, Miss Ludi Wooten.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, Noel?
Yes, you're coming in clearly. How are you?
I'm great. Give me 1 second. I'm doing great. I'm just making sure my laptop is fully charged and I don't lose anyone.
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you again for having me. My first poem is called Just Us. All lives matter. All lives matter. Or does the all part not pertain to people who look like me? You see me and you fear me. You say you don't see color. You must be colorblind. Have you ever considered what it's like to be Black in America? We live in a constant state of fear, wondering who will be next. Will it be my dad, my mom, my brother, my sister? Maybe my son or my daughter. Heck, it may even be me. I bet you don't have those same anxieties. Maybe if you did, you would understand why we don't smile as much. We are called angry when we should just be called human. We feel, we bleed, just like you. Would you be smiling knowing that the murderers get to live and go home as if nothing happened, while your brother and sister don't make it home? Nah, you would be outraged, you would be angry, you would be pissed, frustrated, and tired. You would demand justice today, not tomorrow. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace is what we shout over and over again, day in and day out. And yet we will never get it. It has never been given to us, because what you've taken away, you could never give back. You've taken a life that can't be replaced. There's no justice, just us dying, dying, dying. Thank you. That was Just Us. And I'm gonna change the tempo. The next one that I'm gonna read is called Smile, from my book of poetry called Intimately Speaking. And I'll share that with you all after. But this one is a little more upbeat and it's called Smile. She forgot how to smile, busy with life. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a sister, she's a friend. But who is she? She no longer knows. She searches for clues. She catches a glimpse of herself and starts to wander. She calculates and she ponders. Where did the years go? What does she have to show for all the time spent? She stops and she stares. She smiles and says, no matter the size, you are the prize. Find the stillness in the now. Love on her. She needs your attention. Don't neglect her. Find her again. Reinvent her again. Love her again. Smile for her again. Who is she? She is me. She is you. Find time, make time for you. Okay, this next one, I don't have a title for it yet, so maybe you guys can help me with it. But I was taking a walk and I had my phone, I was listening to some music. I love Afro beats and I just got inspired and this poem came about. When was the last time you let your hair down and just dance? Turn the music up to the max and jam out. When was the last time you danced in the rain instead of running to seek shelter? Let the rain hit your face, taste the water dripping on your lips. When was the last time you danced as if you didn't care who was watching? Getting deep into the rhythm of the beat to your favorite song. When was the last time you took a brisk walk and enjoyed it? Smiled as you heard the birds singing. Closed your eyes and took a deep breath from the morning air. When was the last time you kissed your lover's lips soft and slowly? Holding on, hugging each other so tightly. If you can't recall the last time you did something you enjoyed, then start right now. Yes, right now. Stop everything you're doing and do something for you. Go ahead and blast the music, turn the song up and dance freely. Go and kiss your lover slowly and whisper sweet nothings or nasty things just for him to hear. Go and take that walk and be happy you're alive to do it. Life is waiting on you to live, so live it. Time is escaping you daily. Enjoy life, enjoy love, enjoy you. And I'll read one more from the book, Intimately Speaking. I actually wrote this one Due to the social injustice that's been going on with us, and I'll end it. This one is called Breathe. Came out the womb doing it. Can't be alive without it. Some don't want others to have it. They want to control it. They were in church when it was taken away. He was walking in the neighborhood when it was taken away. He was at the train station when it was taken away. She was in a jail cell when it was taken away. She was in her own home when it was taken away. He was playing with a toy gun when it was taken away. He was jogging when it was taken away. What did we do? I have no clue. It's hunting season for no reason. They want to play God and take it away, like they have the final say. Well, from the looks of it, they do, because he can't, she can't, we can't. Knee on his neck, what the heck? Knee on his neck, what the heck? He can't breathe. Knee on his neck, what the heck? He can't breathe. He can't breathe. He can't breathe. Oh my God. They took it away from him. They took it away from them. George, Trayvon, Oscar, Sandra, Brianna, Tamir, Ahmad, let us be. Let us live. All lives matter, right? Thank you.
Wow, powerful, powerful, powerful. All those poems were very well written, and I enjoyed the imagery and the messages conveyed in those pieces. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you
Can
so
you
much
share?
for having me.
Can you share with our audience the book that you've released and where you can be found on social media?
Absolutely. My name is Ludy Wooten. That's LUDY.WOOTEN. So you can find me on Instagram at ludy.wooten. And last 2020, I guess in the pandemic, is when I wrote this book. It's called, I don't know if you could, Intimately Speaking. I wrote it during the pandemic. Words just started coming to me. I've always loved writing. Like you shared earlier, I came to the US from Haiti at the age of 6. So I've been here forever. I won't tell y'all my age, but I've been here forever, right? But yeah, so when I first came to the US, I didn't know any English. So listening to and watching Sesame Street and watching videos, I just had a love for the English language. And so that's how I started writing in the pandemic. And I was like, you know what, my birthday was October 15th. And I just put a thought, I was like, you know, for my birthday, this is gonna be my gift to myself. And the book, Intimately Speaking, came about. So I am working on book 2, and it is called Love, Peace, and Poetry. So you'll get a mix of all of that. I lost a coworker during the pandemic, so I wrote a poem about him called Mr. Mayor, and just reflections of everything. Because to me, poetry is life. It's the good, the bad, the in between, and that's what I want the second book to be.
Awesome, excellent, excellent. Well, thank you for sharing tonight. Congratulations on your first book, and all the best to you on your second book coming up. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Excellent. Now I'm going to briefly share my screen again to introduce our next feature for tonight, Ms. Paula Ralph Briquette. As a creative catalyst, Paula Ralph Briquette's presentations are equal parts Bill Withers, sincerity, Diane Reeves sound, and Essence Empowerment Festival soul, crisscrossing through original music, spoken word, and theatrical presentations. Paula explores stories of trials and triumphant as listeners imagine their own powerful possibilities. And without further ado, I'd like to call Miss Paula Ralph Burkett to the mic.
Hey, what's up, good people? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay,
How
good.
you
I
doing,
haven't
Paula?
listened. Hey, how you doing? Excuse me. Thank you so much, Noelle, for having me here. I realized I misspelled a word in my bio. I'm like, oh, but thank you so much. As Noelle said, I like to inspire people to see their possibilities. So I hope whatever I share today, that you see your possibilities in what I have to share. This first piece, I'll just do it so you can hear how it goes. Okay. Do you know what time it is? No. Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? I'm not talking about break time or nap time, not bedtime or snack time, not quitting time or quarantine time, and definitely not lockdown time. I'm not talking about an hour or a season or a time of day, although those measures do come into play. There is a rhythm, a breath that's most opportune, but slips away in the hurriedness, in the bleeding and brokenness of living. And I'm afraid in my waiting for her to arrive, our connection may not have stood the test of, do you know what time it is? I've been expecting her because, you know, she and I, we were close, like wonder twins. She thought a thing and I spoke it. I saw a thing and she'd own it. Ooh! Like double Dutch partners, we'd rock to the rhythm of the ropes until we found the moment to jump right in. Oh, skipping and hopping and crisscrossing ambitions with one mind, y'all. We were so in tune. We were so in. Do you know what time it is? Maybe I'll call her. Yeah. Maybe I'll call her. Maybe this time she won't say, I'll start. One day, when the bills aren't pouring in, one day, when debt clouds aren't forming, I'll begin one day when there's nothing but blue sky. Then I promise, I'll try. But she never feels the pull, the pace of the moment anymore, so she doesn't dive in. Because for her, comfort is king. Comfort. Deploying her to war against trouble as if it were the enemy, instead of knowing that trouble builds muscle to create from its opportunity. Oh, comfort. Her master, her overseer is working her blind. She can't see, she's running out of. Do you know what time it is? Gosh, it's getting late. But I'll wait. I'll wait for her because she believed in me. Her biggest, her brightest, her best aspiration. I am her dream, lifting her imagination, her dream. She's gonna need me to get through this tsunami of trouble coming into view. Ignoring the roar and the blast of the coming wave, she won't admit with all her work, she still doesn't feel safe, still hasn't done what her soul craves. But I know, and give her a choice. Flow in the raging, changing tide. Answer my voice when I declare now is the time. Now is the time to fix your community's fractured frame. Now is the time to build from failing financial gain. Now is the time to be the servant the public so desperately needs. Now is the time to take hold of every opportunity. Now is the time to love yourself, be yourself, believe yourself, see yourself as the queen you are. Who knows, but for this specific time you were made, not to live life through fear, but brilliantly through faith. So that when the floodwaters rise, you can stand up and declare, now is the time. Thank you.
Yes, awesome, awesome, awesome.
Great. Okay, I got another one. I wrote this next piece, As a prelude to my current single, I'm also a musician and a songwriter. And my current single is Something Better. But this is I wrote this as a prelude to it, and it's called She Is Looking. She is looking out a window at the rain falling hard on her pane. Drops the size of boulders, echoing the stress and strain, teetering on the edge of her eyelash. She refuses to let run down her face. Carrying a weight she never planned to gain, here she is holding it down like a sumo wrestler. Wrestling thoughts of neighborhood food deserts that grow generational diabetics. Though she lives in a land of milk, honey, and affordable health care, she knows it's just rhetoric. She is considering an escape from blue on black, black on brown, white on red, color on color crime. Because when courtesy, professionalism, and respect resolve to patrol instead of protect, she decides to pay them no mind. She sighs and schemes to leave her 9 to 5, her hustles on the side, her continuous grind for green paper, because maybe, just maybe, the pursuit of purpose makes life richer. She is pondering heart attacks and busted lips, bruised collarbones and ego trips from a violent lover, living in fear. Promising her the sun and moon, all he gives her, all he gives her are tears. She is contemplating broken textbooks and beat up teachers, passive pedagogy and apathetic leaders bent on creating a generation of powerful, fanatical, loyal consumers. Though they be born and destined fruitful producers, she is looking out her window at the rain falling hard on her pane. And as the whistle of the storm wind blows, she whispers real low, there's gotta be something better than this. There's gotta be something. There's gotta be something better than this. There's gotta be. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Paula, for sharing. Did you have plans to do a book, or did you want to keep these poems as like interludes for your albums, like you did on, like for example, what you did on Postmodern Spirituals? Do you plan to keep it in that vein?
You know, I need to keep writing because I want to write a book. That is one of the things I want to do. I have at least, I think I have 12 poems, so I really wanted to try and get up to 25. But for now, they just live in, they live in the music. But yeah, so I actually had one more for you.
Sure, awesome, awesome. Please share. Thank you.
Great. This last one is a poem I wrote for my sister, but after I'm looking back on it, I realized that I actually wrote it for me, but I hope it blesses you. This is called The Seed. I have called you, and in you I desire to plant my seed. As it grows, I will wait for the day when you can concede to my will for your life. Wondrously housed in brown flesh and filled with my holiness, you are to be set apart and pressed and pressed and pressed. For I am going to get the best out of the investment I have made. Just trust and believe it's already been paid. Your failures and mistakes, your deliberate rebellion and countless heartaches will cause my seed to grow. Can't you see, oh, don't you know what I have in store is worth more than you could ever afford? Draw nearer to me and it will be your life's reward. This seed will grow, and in your availability, I will show how I've already cared for all your needs. The desires of your heart I will feed. If you just let me plant the seed, and the seed is the word of God. Thank you so much.
It's beautiful, beautiful, Paula. Thank you so much. This beautiful poetry that you've shared tonight. Thank you. Can you share with our audience where you can be found on social media?
Yeah, you can catch me at singpaula.com. My actual name, Paula Ralph Burkett, is sort of long, so it's just Sing Paula, SINGPAULA, singpaula.com. I get so nervous when I'm talking about myself. I'm sorry. And I have actually a show, online show coming up on May 19th, which I haven't advertised yet. You guys are the first to know, through Bronx Council of the Arts. So I'll have that information up at my on my Facebook page at singpaula.com and on my website at singpaula.com.
Okay, excellent, excellent. That's great news. Congratulations, and thank you so much for coming through tonight to share your poems. It was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Noel. Thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. All right, excellent, excellent. Okay, I'd like to now share the bio for our next feature, which is the artist Anubis. This brother right here, let me tell you, got some powerful poetry that's about to be presented to y'all tonight from this brother. Anubis is a spoken word artist and cultural curator, telling stories through poetry, hip hop, and theater. He has been writing, performing, and advocating for the young people in his community his entire life. Anubis founded the Bomb Shelter, Harlem Spoken Word Open Mic and Showcase, which provided a stage for amateur and award-winning poets and performers, as well as a place for young people to express thoughts and feelings that often reflect the woes of disenfranchisement and discontent with current social events. So without further ado, I'd like to call Brother Anubis to the mic.
Greetings, everyone. It's been a blessing just listening to all you guys' poetry. It's been super dope stuff. So I'm just happy to be here. But yeah, so I'm Anubis, and I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna give you guys four pieces. But I suppose I should you know what? First and foremost, I am not set up for the way this is a new computer, so it is a wider screen than I'm used to. All right. So anyway, but yeah, so I'll give you guys a little introduction to who I am. So who am I? I be Anubis. I be an oversimplification of newness, like newborns conceived behind cages, ribs. I be past lives pushing fetus into suicide dive, dodging umbilical nooses, drowning in wine, dying to live, dying to escape womb like escape room, blinded by bright lights like bad boys wondering what you gonna do before your tomb. I be tomb without stone. I be ear without phone. I be skin without tone, because whether or not you see me, I am there. Whether or not you hear me, I am here. And no matter what palette of paint you pick to portray me, I protect you from atmosphere. I be atmosphere. The air to the air, what some don't understand and others at most fear. I be what most fear. I be death. But is not death the most faithful friend of life? Motivating the greatest times of your life within your lifetime. So whether or not time flies and you're flying through life, I run life like it's running out of time. I be time. Clocking you while you waste it. Watching every TikTok. So every minute, second, hour, hands pray for more. I be a God of the afterlife. Not Jesus Christ, but I give you everlasting life, because they say when a writer falls in love with you, you never die. So I wrote your name in the stars. I mean, I write your name in my scars, bleeding acid into concrete, buried deep under a bomb shelter, engraving the double helix of your DNA in hieroglyphics, so generations you'll give birth to will rebirth you. I'll be rebirthed. The personification of reincarnation. The spoken word of Malcolm to the rhythm of Langston, escaping the cage of Shakespeare form. I'll be formed in my mother's womb. Pushed head first by past lives through ribs into suicide dives. Dodging in umbilical nooses, drowning in wine, dying to live. Who am I? I be an oversimplification of newness. I be my ancestors' dream that a Negro unbound is supreme, but you could just call me Anubis. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I was deciding what to do today, and actually I was inspired. You know, I got some options, I got things, so you know, but then I like listening to what's going on, and definitely because of what's going on in the world forever, right? Everyone's shared some really prevalent pieces in regards to just Black people's fight to simply exist as humans, right? So I kind of retired this piece. Became popular last year when everyone was doing marching and and things of that nature. But it feels important to bring back. So I'm gonna share with it right now. Death tastes Sandra Bland as Karen's potato salad. I Eric Garner the strength to breathe. When I think about it, there ain't no Freddie Gray area when they see me shoot a black. White gets away, Walter Scott free. Got me screaming, beam me up, Scotty. See, I'm an enterprising black man, so they gotta stop me. Super Mario got extra lives, so I'm a cop 3, cause imagine cops shot me, cop in a chopped cheese. Would all lives matter? Maybe. But not these live from the Apollo, black and brown bodies lying on the concrete for an extra hour or 3 with an extra shot or 3 just in case I rise like Jesus. Cause they scared I got his features. They're lucky we just want to be doctors and teachers. They're lucky we just want to be equal. They're lucky we don't rise to genocide for the way that they treat us. Intimidating, comedic kings and godly creatures. America wanna delete us at the fetus. That's why our chicken sandwiches go viral and we eat it, because they don't want us waking up after dream speeches. They got us hiding under the bleachers, watching crooked polices, interrogate and beat us, praying that they don't see us, running for our lives, hoping that the white knights defeat the crackers trying to crack us like they scared we gonna eat them. Nothing's scarier to me than white people scared of me, permitted to bury me. I feel safer in Brownsville than Beverly, living Hunter, Malcolm X Hunter heavily, like we're the enemy, manhandling my brother like he's too Akai girly. Bottom jean jacket over bullet vests early. Philando could still drive if it wasn't for white fury. There's no justice for us when the unjust are judge and jury. Trayvon Martin Luther King had a dream that Mike Brown versus Board of Ed would mean more Oscar grants and scholarships so my people learn. But Emmett Till Christ returns, my people burn. Trayvon Martin Luther King had a dream that Mike Brown versus Board of Ed would mean more Oscar grants and scholarships so my people learn. But Emmett Till Christ returns, my people burn. And my people are still burning. Things are getting worse. We're doing the death dance like it's the Charleston church. Bare knees on dry Tamir rice till it hurts. Taking life gives them power. Khalid Browder took his first. Shining like Alton Sterling silver is our curse. Muhammad Baba, black sheep, bodies in a hearse. Too much for a verse. They're killing blacks till there's nothing left of them. Imagine Panther veterans giving them their own medicine. It's time to move on up like with the Jeffersons. I wish they would have took a Tatiana with the Jeffersons, because west of them, they rung Sean's bell like he was wrestling with cold feet, shot in cold blood before his wedding. Are you listening when I'm telling them what I'ma do? Diallo, do y'all know entertainers are people too? And we're sick of singing songs about the shit they put my people through. Keep your tree of good and evil. I eat of the strangest fruit. And I wear the strangest suit. Breonna Taylor made with every bullet that her bae could shoot at bacon. No 6 degrees, because when I aim at you, I'm aiming at your pockets. Could a dollar be like God to you? We're marching and we're running to Corinne Gaines the impossible. Pay our reparations how politicians pay prostitutes. Smoking Ramarley Graham crackers with bad actors. We're tossing the bad apples and burning the tree after. Because Trayvon Martin Luther King had a dream that Mike Brown versus Board of Ed would mean more Oscar grants and scholarships so my people learn. But Emmett Till Christ returns, my people burn. Trayvon Martin Luther King had a dream that Mike Brown versus Board of Ed would mean more Oscar grants and scholarships so my people learn. But Emmett Till Christ returns, my people burn. So that's that piece. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes. Bars. Bars.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So yeah, so that piece became pretty big for me. Wasn't really made to be big. As a matter of fact, that piece is literally 3 verses written over time. The first verse I wrote because I had the idea. I had a poet getting on the track with me. The poet took 2 weeks to come and do her part. In that time, more stuff happened. So I was like, I have to write another verse. And then more stuff happened. So I had to write another verse. I'm not writing another verse, but unfortunately, that's the reality, right? The reality is there's just so many names. I wrote a piece about that I'm not gonna do, but that piece is My People Burn, which ends up being the title of the book that I just published. It's called My People Burn and Other Visions, which, you know, speaks to one, the idea of people suffering, but the flip side, double entendre of that, of the fire that burns inside and we keep pressing on, and other visions. So a lot of the book is pieces like that, but that's not the all encompasses of who we are. Definitely not who I am. So I start to tell some of my stories, and I am going to read one of those stories that's in here, and reading it because although I know the first half of it, in the course of editing for the book, I changed it, so I don't know how it ends anymore. So this is a piece that I had in my mind for about 10 years. I conceived it when my first daughter was born. Around the same time, a poet who was an ex of mine performed at one of my open mics. We're cool. But she performed a piece about how I broke her heart. And I started thinking about this piece. The piece will explain the connection to that, because there's a connection. A thing for poets. In high school, I fell in love with my best friend. Her name was Sherry. Now, Sherry knew how much my feelings grew, hair waving like seashores, a mermaid and seashells. I would buy the sea she'd sell just to drown in it. She was a poet. I thought her a better poet than I would ever be, the way she regurgitated similes like she vomited her food, like a volcano spitting lava, as if the volcano's mama told her men prefer their mountains smaller, so she was anorexic. Or was she bulimic? I often forget the difference. I just know I wanted to feed her the way she fed me constellation dreams like a Make-A-Wish kid. I think I have a thing for poets. Like this woman I gave my virginity, her name was Miss Cruz. Now, Miss Cruz could rock the boat like a Caribbean cruise, rippled and crashed against my hull till the pressure accrued, till I blast like a geyser. I had to brag to my crew, and she was okay with it in hopes my love would rain on her too, but she was a poet. The way she swallowed words like seeds, the way she siphoned ink from pen, the way she made ink bleed from the lines in her arm. She spit silent soliloquies like the cries in her arm. She didn't want to die, so she lived with self-harm because she just wanted to feel something. And I was just another something that had no feelings for her. She's good now. We're good now. Her husband hates me though. I guess he thinks I have a thing for poets. My longest scene was a queen named Amy. Now, Amy was a lady with a shotgun figure, fully loaded because she didn't know her father figure. When he left, he blamed her mother. But this queen figured, and she was worth more to her father figure than the shot he bust. He would have stuck to his guns. Now she's triggered. Now she's squeezing. Afraid I'd beat him. Afraid I'd leave Anne. She kept the barrel to my brain. Afraid she would miss him if she didn't aim right, so I left. She was a poet. And now we're both living life after death because she grew trees, our children. Fruit that never fall far. Fruit whose faces she frames in photos, posting poetry in pictures without words, because no words how different she pictured life would develop. But her pictures tell 1,000 words. Like, I have a thing for poets. And I fall in love with a poet, but this time, lavishing my lady in lyrical lullabies and every alliteration of her love languages beyond her anguishes. Now, if my greatest loves are poets who found their power in pain, I pray my daughters are never poets. I pray they are never cut open, left bleeding onto pages. Of both they will say she is whole. Despite the chasm between parents, her foundation was never broken. She is a healer. Light ascends from the shadows of her footsteps. Her movements be righteous whirlwinds like a holy marionette. Her whispers be stardust, illuminating dark places, shaping the world how she sees it. And if they ever have a thing for a poet, I'd say, love his scars, like stitching of a quilt. They are not wounds. Don't reopen them. They are signs of wars he's healed from. Let him, let him unfold to keep you warm. And I pray he loves you as much as your daddy. He was a poet. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
So yeah,
Lyric.
that was edited, so I don't even know what the new stuff says. I'm gonna give you guys one more. Is one of my newest pieces, also related to my daughters. I wrote a book that I did not publish yet. That's just pieces about my daughters. This is not that, but there's been, look, you're if you're a dad and the most significant moments of your life aren't related to your kids, I have to have a conversation with you. That's just my personal thing. And so me, the most significant moments of my life are related to my kids. So this last one is really about me, but it wouldn't exist without my children. My first daughter, she was born with kidney disease. So in 2019, I gave her one of my kidneys. So there's a couple of pieces that are inspired by that. All right, and that's what I'm reading too. I'm reading on my computer. So here we go. Imagine living life waiting for someone to die. That would have been my daughter's life had I not been a living donor. Only 30% of kidney donations come from the living. I suspect that's because we don't know how to recover from kidney donation. Step 1. You will wake up in the middle of a sentence. Everyone will consider it gibberish, but in your defense, the last 5 hours don't exist to you. You were snapped away in the middle of a joke. Your doctor offered you a cocktail. You told him make it a double. Your social worker didn't find it funny at all. The recovery nurse will have beautiful curly hair, but don't tell her you think she's pretty. Loudly whisper it to literally everyone else who comes to visit you as if the nurse can't hear. Step 2, look in your pants. Don't be shocked. They shaved your pubes. In hindsight, you wish you did it yourself when you remember the forest they just cleared. Step 3, when you wake up again. Fingertips on abdomen scarred like braille. Gargling your own tears to drown out the screams. Trauma violates your soul, breaks into your belly and enters your throat. Too small to swallow enough tramadol to relieve the pain. A part of you ripped out while you slept. And that anger makes you angry at yourself for being angry when you know you wanted this, when your body's sense of loss is invading your senses with sensations of white emptiness till nothing makes sense. Look up. You see her. The little girl with clearer eyes, with brighter smile. She would thank you for the kidney she needed. For the dances she'll live to learn. For the college applications she'll stress over at an age she never knew she'd reach. For the heartbreak from the boys she never knew she'd meet. For the medication she'll no longer take. For her mother, finally exhaling the breath held in her body since her baby's birth. For the return of light to her father's smile. For the joy inside her heart. And that grain of death inside you be the seed of her rebirth. They will call you a hero, selfless. But for me, it was the most selfish thing I've ever done. Who wouldn't lend life and limb to their daughter or their son whose same blood pumps in your heart, my heart, the occupant of my thoughts every second we're apart. If my child isn't to live, I have no reason. But what if she wasn't my child? If she was someone else's daughter, a little curly-haired girl named Hope, would she have prayed any less for a miracle? That she be 1 out of 95,000 to get off a waiting list while little Victor next door is still waiting, wondering why he and 35 million live with kidney disease. Would the promise of his life have any less meaning? 13 people die each day waiting for a kidney transplant. Are any of them in any less need for a hero? Step 4. When you see your kidney recipient, hug them like weighted blanket in the winter. They will thank you for giving them more life. You would thank them for giving your life more meaning. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Lyrics for days. Yes, yes. Awesome poetry, bro. Awesome poetry.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the poets, all the artists, everyone here. Love it here.
Yo, man, dope stuff, man. Can you tell everybody where you can be found on social media and where they can find your book? Which, by the way, I'm waiting on my copy. I ordered my copy. Congratulations.
That's why it's called pre-order. So yeah, so what's funny is and Ludis is funny because like I said, I wrote the other book, but I would let that go through a publishing process. They liked it, they didn't want to get it though, whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. My birthday's coming up, May 4th, and I was like, I'm gonna push the book myself. So it was similar. So I was like, you know what? Let that book do whatever it's gonna do. That's fine. But for me, for my birthday, I'm going to be published author. And that's what I did. So the book officially drops on May 4th. So you can find me and all the things at the Instagram at the artist Anubis. There's a link tree there, but you can just also go to theartistanubis.com. There you have several things. You got the book, you got merch, I got masks, I got leggings, I got things for everybody. Theartistanubis.com and the artist Anubis on Instagram. Thank you very much.
Awesome, brother. Thank you for coming through, man. That's dope poetry. Congrats on your book, your merchandise, the whole nine, man. I appreciate you coming through and sharing, man. This dope poetry. Much appreciated. Thank you. All right, y'all. We're gonna go on to the next and final feature for the evening, which is Alicia Gonzalez. Alicia Gonzalez was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. She is the mother of two young men. Alicia also designs jewelry from semi-precious stones and crochets one-of-a-kind pieces to wear and to decorate the home. This is Alicia's debut reading her poetry. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So without further ado, calling Alicia to the mic.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Hey, Noel.
How you doing? Thank you for coming through.
I'm
Excited
good.
to hear your poetry.
Yeah. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just need a shout out to all my May people, you know, because I'm May 11th and my son is May 7th. So, you know, there's a lot of us May babies up in here. So,
Awesome.
yes,
Awesome.
it's tourist season. It sure is.
Excellent.
I'm going to read my first one. It's called Realization. Sometimes in the universe of things unseen, we must have patience. To love oneself is paramount to positive vibrations. I love myself enough to know who does not serve their purpose in my life anymore. Before I let you in, I have to let you go. Go and be free to play your games elsewhere. My patience is for assessment. Once the assessment matches my intuition, you are released, dismissed. I am a daughter of the universe. I am yin and yang, fire and ice. You must have balance to stay constant with me. I will not bear toxic imbalances because you feel and think that you will never get caught. You will not be my destiny. You are my lesson. And school, my dear, is over. Ascension has taken your place. That was Realization. The second one is called Uplift. Uplift and encourage. Don't belittle and discourage. Keep your head up. It's never too late. Keep your head up. Stay alert. Stay awake. Seeing past the matrix. All ports. Your homeland. Remember Abydos, Dendera, Giza, Ivory Coast, the Sahara. Keep your head up. You are loved, cherished, not disposable, as most would think. Melanated creations of bold, brave beauty. Keep your head up. Keep your mind right. Keep your eyes open. Keep love alive. That was Uplift. The third one is called True Love. True love comes from true friendship with the knowledge of self. For how can one admire another while taking life and nature for granted? If you do not water a plant, how can you nurture a relationship with another when your inner leaves wither? Pay no heed to what others are growing around you. You do not know how many weeds they had to pluck. thorns that stuck before you have seen the blooms. How are you even going to relate? True love comes from wisdom and understanding that not everything placed in front of you is for you. Situations come to test, to prepare you for what is to come. True love is not named Pollyanna, nor is it named Don Juan. True love comes from knowing you cannot take everyone's problems as your own. Learn to love your inner being. It will give your life new meaning. Now, this last one, Noel, when you had asked us to figure out this hills and valleys thing you gave us from the last poetry meeting, I call this one landscape. Hills and valleys, rooftops and mountaintops. Have you ever been high or low enough to comprehend the depths of my emotions? Can you coast with me as the stars pass in warp drive while thoughts of ascension and knowledge run through my mind? For love is ethereal while hate runs rampant like hot lava spewing from a volcano. Tempered by humility, both forged by duality. For my emotions run deeper than the oceans, higher than Mount Kilimanjaro, extending past time and space. Yet in this very moment, as I walk through many valleys, I remember to grow, to flow, to know the unbalanced in order to bring balance to my journey on this planet. Thanks.
Wow, awesome. Show love, y'all. Show love. Awesome, awesome. Alicia, you can see all the love in the comments. You know, for this being your debut reading poetry, you did very well. I enjoyed your
Thank
poetry.
you.
We all enjoyed your
Thank you.
poetry. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Thank
Now,
you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
now,
Thank you.
do you have a plan to put a book together, or you just started writing?
Well, I have a plan to put a book together, but I just got picked up as a jewelry designer and a set decorator for a Black-owned film production company
Wow, awesome.
here in New
Awesome.
York City. So eventually, I am working on my poetry book, but right now I've just been reading. I just got Katsy's book. I'm going to be getting your book, and I'm definitely getting Anubis's book. And I'm on my way to getting James's books to support you all, because believe it or not, I wanted to let you all know that your poetry, when I was listening to it, got me through some rough times these past couple of meetings. And I just want to say thanks.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm glad I could provide this platform, to be a source of inspiration and to have others join in to be a source of inspiration for you as well. So I'm very happy that you were inspired, and I'm happy that you were able to share your poetry tonight. It's beautiful poetry.
Thank you so much.
I want to encourage you to keep writing. It's beautiful poetry, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Awesome poetry. Can you share with the audience where you can be found on social media?
I can actually be found on IG, Boricua Cubana 56. That's where I'm at, and that's where you can find me if you want to reach out and say hi. That's where I'll be, because right now I'm bookless.
That's right. Well, I encourage you to keep writing, and I hope to see a book from you in the future, because that's definitely beautiful poetry. And for somebody sharing their poetry for the first time, you did very well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I enjoyed your work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. So now I guess everyone's probably wondering if I'm going to share tonight. And to that I answer yes, because I can't have an event and not share my own work. That would be sacrilege.
And it was your birthday.
Yes. It's still my birthday month. I'm celebrating to the end of the month. I'm another year older, bless God. And I thank you all for your support of my workshop and all of my creative endeavors. The support and the love y'all been showing to me is very much appreciated. And I'm glad to share my work with you tonight. I enjoyed all the poetry that was shared from y'all. Everybody came through with some powerful poetry. So thank y'all for sharing, and I encourage y'all to keep writing. Keep writing. It's beautiful stuff. This first piece I'm going to share is called "This New America." This was a poem that was included recently in an anthology called 2020, The Year That Changed America, which was put together by Kevin Powell's Writing Workshop. Is this the America you want me to accept? One where it's okay for me to be downgraded, degraded, and disrespected because of the color of my skin by people who are bent on believing that this country only belongs to them? Yet this country was never theirs in the first place. Isn't that ironic, don't you think? Is this the new America you want me to accept, where racists, sexists, and instigators of strife and division get to be president and encourage more bold and brazen racist behavior and rhetoric with no accountability or responsibility on the part of the offenders? Is this the new America you want me to love, when it's been engraved in its DNA to hate and despise me, perpetuated through the generations? Is this the new America you want me to celebrate when my people are still oppressed, stressed through systems designed to hold us back and diminish our intelligence and contributions to society? Is this the new America I must stand for when it chooses to continually stand against me? Why must I live in a country that my ancestors bled and died for to help build and be treated like a second-class citizen? So quick to be told, go back to Africa, but my ancestors didn't ask to be brought here in the first place. They didn't ask to be brought here against their will, treated like animals and machines for profits that they never got to enjoy. Why should I go back when your ownership of this country is based on lies, scandal, stealing, and crooked politics? Is this the new America you want me to support when it's done everything in its power to systematically dismantle the Black family, emasculate Black men, degrade Black women, and convince Black children they are no greater than the system put in place to hold them back? Is this the new America you want me to oversee, where my people constantly have to justify their worth and scream at the top of their lungs to be heard because of the stereo of double standards turned up at full blast? This new America does not and has never provided liberty, freedom, and justice for all. Thank you. That was This New America.
Woohoo! All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
The second poem I'm going to share is from my upcoming project. I just finished the very first draft to my next book, poetry book, The Journey Continues. I hope to have it out either before the end of May or the beginning of June. And this poem is called These Changes in Time. And this was a poem that actually started out with a poetry prompt that someone else had given at a poetry event that they were hosting in their home a few years back. So this is These Changes in Time. I listen in awe of your testimony of witnessing great moments in history like the first color television and the first man on the moon, when JFK and MLK were assassinated, when riding the subway was only a dime, when a movie theater was a theater and not a multiplexed monotony. You stand firm by your belief that the more things change, the more they stay the same, that some parts of yesterday were better than today. Maybe we were a more kinder, gentler nation way back when, but somehow along the way, we lost touch with our hearts and lost focus on what's really important in life. But some things are better in the present than they were in the past. Technology has made improvements in every area of our lives. And who isn't a cell phone, email, fax, or a .com away? More importantly, there are still people willing to take a stand for what is right. We as a nation have made progress in many areas, but we still have a long way to go. America is still the land of the free and home of the brave. We can exercise our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We all have the power and the ability to make a difference in the world, but the question is, do you have the desire and the willingness? You admire my ambition and my drive to think positive, to do better and to be better. I say that I learned it all from you because there's no future without a past to draw from. So we reach out to one another while time moves on continuously. I draw from your wisdom and your experience. You draw from my strength and determination to see a better tomorrow. You are confident I am one of many who can make a difference. Thank you. So that was these changes in time. Thank you all so much. Now, as we draw to a close, I'm gonna share my screen again to review a couple of more things. Now, for those that are not familiar, Poets with Purpose was established for a couple of reasons. First being for community exposure to poetry and spoken word. You know, I wanted to create my own platform to provide poets an opportunity to share their work and be heard, and also to hear from other poets, and just so we can have a positive forum, you know, to vibe off of one another, to be inspired and to be an inspiration at the same time, and to provide support and encouragement through the poetic arts. Also, as a platform to help develop our communication and presentation skills. You know, some people may be performing poetry for the very first time, like Alicia did, you know. So I wanted to provide a platform where people that are new to sharing their work, I wanted to create a space where they can be free to share, you know, without any judgment, without any harsh criticism, without any negativity. I want this people to feel comfortable in this space to share if they're new to being in front of an audience, and you know, that way, you know, they can get support and encouragement to continue pursuing their craft. And to those of us that may be more experienced, you know, you can never stop learning. You know, there's always opportunities to learn different styles and different ways of presenting your work. So it's also an opportunity, you know, to learn, even though you may, you know, regardless of your level of experience with poetry. You know, this is also a platform, you know, that helps you to build your confidence as a writer. You know, find inspiration and to be a source of inspiration, and you know, potential project collaboration. You know, at some point, I want to put together a poetry anthology from all the poets that's part of the workshop. So I hope to do that sometime in the future. That's definitely on the agenda for the group. Now, as far as writing workshop exercises, you know, as Alicia mentioned, you know, one of the poems that she's done started with a writing prompt that I provided at the last workshop in open mic. And the poetry prompt began with the statement: hills and valleys, rooftops and mountaintops, have you been high or low enough to comprehend the depths of my emotions? Now, I haven't been able to really, you know, write anything to go with that statement. That's kind of a work in progress for me. But is there anyone on the line tonight that was at the last workshop that was able to write a poem using that statement, like Alicia did, that would like to share that poem now? Otherwise, if not, let's see how we're doing for time. Just a second here. Okay, if anything, you know, y'all are welcome to try your hand with this writing prompt, and you know, we could connect at the next workshop to see what you come up with, as far as that is concerned. And if I have any new writing prompts, I'll be sure to share that as well. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you. Thank you all for another great workshop. I want to thank all the participants in the open mic, all of the features. Y'all were awesome. Thank you everybody for coming through to share. Poets with Purpose can be found on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And I welcome you all to look forward to the next event, Vino and Versus the Love Movement, which will be Saturday, May 22nd, 2021 at 8 p.m. And if you would like more information about the workshop, you can give me a call at 646-372-6230, or you can email me at poetswithpurpose@gmail.com. And I'd like to give credit and a shout out to Eclipse Graphics New York, who is responsible for all my flyers and all of my logos for the Poets with Purpose workshop. And that's that. That is a wrap. Thank you, everybody. This was awesome. Thank you all so much for your energy, for your creativity, and your support. I enjoyed everybody's poetry. Thank you so much. And this video will be uploaded sometime tonight. It's about 9:38 right now. So give about another hour or two for this video to be uploaded on YouTube and to, you know, all of my social media, to those of you that are connected to me. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you all so much for a great event. Wish you all a good night and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thanks,
you.
Noel. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night, everybody. Thank you. God bless.
Hey,
Bye,
good night.
Noel. Thank you all. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.